Let's go to Athi Mtongana, part of our team at Parliament today outside the National Assembly. Athi Mtongana, lots of reaction coming through on those steps now.
Definitely. I just also spoke to the leader of COPE, Mosiwa Lukota, who just left. We're going to play you that interview, but now I have with me Wayne Thring. Thank you so much for your time. So the ACDP's reaction to President Cyril Ramaphosa's economic recovery plan. Do you think there's any resuscitating that can be done in as far as the state of our economy?
I think that the position of the ACDP is that it's going to be wishful thinking. Over the years, unfortunately, we've had much of this rhetoric about economic recovery plans, but we are yet to see those particular recovery plans implemented on the ground. The President has spoken about 4 prongs in terms of the plan: industrialization, he has spoken about infrastructure development, he's spoken about energy efficiency plans, and employment growth. 800,000 jobs when we've had 2.2 million people having lost their jobs in this hard lockdown. We've got debt to GDP that has grown from just over 60% at the beginning of the year to 81.8%, and it is expected to grow to over 90%. We are looking for investment to come into the country, but our economic policies, our labor policies, our monetary and our fiscal policies do not speak to inviting those who want to come and invest into the economy. So certainly, I think that is a lot of wishful thinking. We are certainly, however, hopeful. We are hopeful for the sake of South Africans that there will be a change in economic growth, that we will see jobs growing in the country. However, if anything is to go by the track record and the history of the ruling party, it is possibly just wishful thinking from the side of the ACDP.
Thank you so much for your time. I see my colleague, our news editor, our business editor rather, Xolani Mbanjwa, standing by with the FF Plus. Hopefully we can throw to him, Stephen, so he can come to us with reaction from the FF Plus. Xolani, what do you have there on your side?
All right, Xolani Mbanjwa is standing by there with more reaction for us. Xolani, I understand that you've been looking at this speech, a lot of reaction coming through. Your first thoughts on this?
Yes, indeed, quite interesting, Stephen, and it's not actually a time yet to actually dissect from our side this particular speech, but I've got Dr. Pieter Groenewald, the leader of the Freedom Front Plus, with me. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Groenewald. Your first impressions on this particular speech?
Well, it is very disappointing because the minister didn't say anything new. What he said today, he said before. I mean, how many times did we hear that they're going to develop infrastructure in South Africa? How many times before did we hear about a renewable energy that will be enhanced to increase the capacity of electricity in South Africa? How many times before did we hear that we have to buy local and support local suppliers? At one stage on his Sona address, he even had a suit on completely made in South Africa. So it's nothing new. And furthermore, what they actually announced that they're going to create 800,000 new jobs. The fact of the matter is, at this moment, statistics determines that 2.2 million jobs had been lost. So what about the others? And I think that job or the unemployment is further going to increase with the next quarter. So what the president actually announced is that there's going to be a further extension and expansion of social grants. In South Africa, we have the EWPC program creating jobs. It's not permanent jobs, and he's only expanding that. But that is taxpayers' money. How is he going to finance that? He didn't announce anything creating a conducive environment for investors to come and invest in South Africa. What we would have wanted to hear is specifically what amendments he is going to propose when it comes to labor legislation. For instance, make it easier for the employer to do its business. We would have wanted to hear that there's going to be a tax decrease for businesses coming to invest in South Africa. We would have wanted to hear about free economic zones where those businesses can start creating jobs. That is actually the type of announcements we would have liked to hear from the side from the Freedom Front Plus, from the President, and we didn't hear any of that. And of course, stop black economic empowerment. We know it's only a smokescreen to ensure that the politically connected people get the money. And South Africa, we are so deep in trouble that we can't afford any further just words. We want to see actions, and it is quite clear in the end that the President is a prisoner of NEDLAC, and he is a prisoner of the ideology-driven economic policy of socialism of the ANC.
Dr. Groenewald, I wished we had more time. Thank you very much for your time there. That is Dr. Pieter Groenewald, the leader of the Freedom Front Plus, clearly really unhappy, even saying that we should scrap black economic empowerment, going that far. But a lot of unhappiness on the steps of Parliament this afternoon after the President tabled that economic recovery plan. Back to you, Stephen, in studio.